Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about a topic based on this video that went viral of this Nigerian woman who's a lawyer, and she posted a video or a picture, and she was attacked. She has a bigger nose, and a lot of people started pretty much going in the comments telling her that she's not attractive, that she's ugly, blah 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 blah. This is something that happens a lot on social media. So today I want to talk about it because sometimes I think about the young girls out there who are so affected. They think that they're not beautiful, they're not this because of what they see on social media. Like I have my little niece who, told her mom that a lot of kids at her school are telling her that she has a big butt. And they keep really kind of taunting her about it because these are other races. And she has a certain shape, and this is just something that's inherited. We all, like my family members, have a certain build, we got back, okay? So her mom was like, look at your aunties, pretty much. And it's funny, but I'm just kind of getting to the point where a lot of young girls are really insecure based on what they're seeing on social media, what they're seeing on TV. And so, as parents, you have to try to ensure young girls and even boys, just that they're handsome the way they are and blah, 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 blah. Because there's bullying involved with how kids look as well. So this video really, there's something so wonderful about this lady that I love. And then that she says, at the end of the day, she's not aesthetically pleasing and it's okay. Because at some point, we have more to offer as human beings than our looks. You've seen how a lot of Hollywood actresses and stuff, when they age, the wonderful, beautiful women that we grew up knowing, they get older and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you need makeup, like you need surgery, because somehow aging has made them so not attractive. But that's not the key. That's not the case. We know that looks have nothing to do with aging, really, because at the end of the day, if you're a beautiful person, you always be a beautiful person. No, if you get older, yes, you might have wrinkles, gray hair, but at the root of it, you're still an attractive person. So I'm going to kind of share a little bit of my experiences and also talk about what is the benefit of being attractive and being aesthetically pleasing, right? Because everybody's like, oh my gosh, they want to be attractive, but this and this, but there's something that comes with that too. So, growing up, I didn't feel attractive. But then later on, I realized that, yes, I am beautiful. I'm confident and stuff like that. And one of the things I noticed is that when people wanted to talk to me, I would get a lot of people that wanted to talk to me. A lot of times it's people that I didn't want to talk to. And so this is one of the things that happens to you when you're a woman that looks a certain way. You start getting people that want to talk to you that you're just like, no. But it's just because everybody kind of wants a shot. And so that it's an ego boost, and it becomes something that can leave you feeling really lonely. Because I remember I would be on dating apps and I would get so many swipes, right? But the problem with is that out of those swipes, I could say like one or two people were genuine and really were interested in knowing me. They were not interested in knowing, oh, I'm talking to her just because she's beautiful, so I have to get her attention. And it's like a competition of who gets the attractive woman, who gets the pretty person, I said in another video, I didn't get pretty privilege the way I wanted it. I was getting pretty privilege, but it was from a lot of men that I just was not my type, men that I wasn't interested in. So it's kind of funny that it's just like a bunch of men that would be trying to talk to me back in the day, right? So at some point in our lives, we have to look beyond our looks because we have so much to offer as human beings. It is, I remember I experienced a lot of jealousies around me. I had friends at the time. Well, I called them friends. I had always had people around me. And when all of them I lost in contact with and they kind of were out of my life, and I noticed that at the end of the day, these people had a lot of jealousies around me. It bothered me because I was like, wow, I don't really have friends like that. I really don't. And I didn't understand it because I kept telling my mom sometimes like, man, I've tried to make friends and I give up. And I've had women in my life that were there, and then all of a sudden they try to become me because they would try to dress how I dress. They try to act like how I act. And it was like, okay, I don't understand it. Like, why? You can be yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Why are you trying to copy everything I'm doing? that's when I started questioning myself and looking like, okay, is something going on here? So, so that's that, right? And then moving into the US, and having a lot of so many people just, I had this treatment where, just because I was African, especially from a lot more like Black people, I was kind of being looked at like as somebody who wasn't attractive. And so I started thinking, oh, is it because I'm African that something is wrong with me? And this really took a toll on me, on my mental health, because I constantly was just like looking around me like, is something wrong with me? So I spent a couple years of my early life just thinking that I was the ugliest thing on earth. But then I was like, if I'm the ugliest thing on earth, then why are so many people bothering me? Like, a lot of men trying to approach me and talk to me, and I didn't understand it. So later on, I was like, when I got to college, I was like, oh, hi. Like, there were so many guys left and right. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are you, what do you want? I was like, oh, hi, like, do you want something? So one of the things is sometimes you're attractive and beautiful and you're not aware of it. You just are not aware and you don't know what's going on. So people like to be around people that are attractive, and things like that. So to tie it all together, what I'm trying to get at is that being attractive has its, I would say, the cons. And I even Googled it. I was like, what are some of the benefits of being an attractive person? One of the first things is that you don't know if people really want to experience you as a person. Because people want to be around you. People want to show up to other people that they're around you. And that's pretty much it. Oh, you with the pretty girl. Oh, you with the pretty guy or handsome guy. The other thing is a lot of jealousies come with that. It's this thing where you're constantly like just watching your back because you don't know who's really jealous of you and who's jealous of the benefits that you're receiving. Like if you go out with friends and you're getting free drinks and they're not, and then all of a sudden it's an issue like, oh, why is she getting free drinks and not us? Things like that's an example. A lot of people that are attractive, I've mentioned on social media how it's very lonely because at the end of the day, you're just being bombarded by so many people that want to talk to you constantly. One of the things that I bothers me is that constant people staring and you just start questioning everything. Like, is it something in my forehead? Is it my nose? Is it my lips? Like, why are people staring? Is it because I'm tall? Is it because I am a Black woman? Like, why are people staring? So that's one of the things that really used to bother me. It's like, please, can I have some peace and not have to be looked at a certain way? Like constant, like people just like this. And after a while, I just started saying, oh my gosh, is something wrong? So that's another thing. Another thing is like people make assumptions. People think that people who are attractive are somehow more intelligent and then they're more pleasant. And sometimes that's the opposite because there's attractive people that are really nasty and rude and mean. They're not more intelligent than other people. People just assume. People give them like jobs because they're thinking, oh, she's attractive. She must be smart. She's going to do the job. And that's not the case. People are just always like giving you favorable treatment. But on the other side of that, it's like sometimes you realize like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Another thing is that a lot of people that are very attractive and aesthetically pleasing have to deal with a lot of insecurities. And people don't even know that they deal with that. You see them walking around, you're like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. He's so handsome. But they're dealing with a lot of insecurities. And questioning themselves, looking at the mirror a million times a day, like, am I okay? What's wrong with me? So I just want to tell people out there, please, at the end of the day, there's more to looks, okay? There's more to you than your looks. As a human being, you want to be kind. You want to be generous. You want to be just a good person overall to other people. That's really more important. Looks can fade. Things can happen to you. And you could lose all the looks. And at the end of the day, it's all what's on the inside that's really going to matter. And so for me, I'm speaking as somebody who's a parent. And I tell my son, yes, like people tell him, oh, you're handsome. And I say, well, what really matters is that you're a nice person. Do you share with people? Are you kind to people? Are you respectful to people? That's what's important, and I try to do that. So he sees me. It's like nothing worse. Like you're a beautiful person, but you're mean. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's not all that being attractive and looking a certain way is, it's just the way it's cracked out to be. It's not. There's so many people dealing with so much stuff from it. Guys have mentioned how sometimes women are like flocking to you and they want to talk to you and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, you're still like, oh my gosh, dealing with so many stuff that they don't even know you're dealing with. So in summary, you don't have to be aesthetically pleasing. That's not the goal. You just have to be a human being that has other things to offer. And I'm just happy that this woman is a lawyer and she's smart. She's so positive and I love that. I was watching, I'm like, wow, that's a positive person. And we all have features that don't look like other people. So in summary, we cannot all look the same. And it bothers me when everybody's trying to go out there and have surgeries and do all this stuff, because one of the things that I read or watched was this thing where they said there's other races that are very jealous of Black women. A lot of other races are going to go get stuff that we naturally have, like bigger lips, bigger butt, a certain type of nose and all that stuff. They're going out there to do this stuff, but they will never admit and say, oh, wow, Black women are just so beautiful and so attractive. They will never say that. So there's that jealousy involved where a lot of other races of other women want our features, but they will never give credit. That is something that is true, because literally other races might go in and attack a Black woman for this and that, but deep down they're like, oh my gosh, she's so attractive, she has beautiful skin, blah blah blah, but they will never say that. So being aesthetically pleasing has its own negatives, okay? And to me, getting compliments and people telling you that you're attractive, you're beautiful, it's great at times, but there's times that you still have to go in the mirror and deal with yourself and face your insecurities. Because I've had that. Like, there's many times people have left me comments telling me I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm attractive, but I'm still like, inside, I'm like, am I? Because I'm looking at the times that I was told I wasn't because I was an African woman. There was times that I was bothered, I was bullied for being African. And so that stuck with me. So no matter how many times people told me I was gorgeous, I'm like, that's not what they said back in the day. You know what I mean? So people have their insecurities that they're dealing with. It comes with jealousies. It comes with everybody wanting your attention. When you're attractive, especially on social media, you got brands reaching out to you. They want you to represent them because you're attractive. But you're getting exposed to so many different people because of that. Sometimes people will say, like this woman was joking about, I'd rather be ugly and fat because then men can leave me alone. Because the other side of that is men harassing you. You're being stalked. Most of these men want a piece of you in some way. They want a piece of you just to have an ego boost, to show off. And you're getting stuff supposedly for free, but then at the end of the day, it's not really free because somebody wants access to you in some way. So sometimes it's easier to not be aesthetically pleasing, is my point. Because the other stuff is way important. The inside work is really important because that takes you further. It's nice to look at pretty things, but pretty things are not always what they seem, So at the end of the day, I just loved what this woman said. I loved that so many Black women were supportive and telling her, there's nothing wrong with you. And beauty is really perception. It's in the eye of the beholder at the end of the day. And no matter how many comments I get and people telling me I'm beautiful, I'm attractive, I'm still trying to do the inside work to fix all those times that people told me I wasn't. So those comments sometimes are just like, okay, somebody told me that. Okay, thank you, But it doesn't fix the inside. So the inside can really be messed up, but the outside looks really good. You know what I mean? So we have to think about that. We have to think that we cannot have one standard of beauty, no matter how many times this is being forced. The blonde hair, like they used to say, green eyes or blue eyes, is not my standard of beauty. That's not what I see as beauty. And I tell my son every single day, I'm like, everybody has something to offer. Everybody has something they're good at. Everybody has so many different things that are beautiful about them. And we cannot all be in one, at the end of the day. So it's okay not to be aesthetically pleasing is my point, because there's things that come with that. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.